Welcome to the Saved Games podcast, episode 15, and it is capturing the wrong tab. There we go. That's fixed. We have TacticalSkillet and FlatCapDapperPastor with us this evening. Welcome, guys. Thanks for joining. Always awesome to have you guys around chatting about whatever it is we're chatting about. All right. Yeah. I haven't even updated the show notes on the side of the screen here. But while I do that, why don't you guys tell me how's your week or last couple weeks been since we last chatted? Mm. Oh yeah. How about you, Tactical? Oh, can they not hear you? FlatCapDapperPastor is muted. What? Oh, maybe maybe when I switch to my other overlay,
How dare you mute my boy?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was just dropping all the knowledge
sorry.
over here. Like you missed all the knowledge.
Oh man, I apologize.
Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me? Yes.
I don't have Verizon. Actually, yes, I do.
Wait, I should have my phone. Can you hear me now? Can we hear me now? Oh, there we go. All right, we're good. We good.
That's funny. So working on your breaks, lots of home projects.
Yeah, a whole bunch of home projects, tree tearing down, roofing, putting up. Well, this will sound weird, but putting flooring on the wall. So vinyl flooring as wall covering instead of on the floor. Doing some insulation work. Putting a ladder in my mom's cellar. Replacing the ladder that's cast iron from 1945 or 1950 that's been, going to the root cellar.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's put in enough time. It's okay for it to retire now. Did we lose FlatCap? He looks frozen. Or he's reading a text message. Or my browser just crashed. Okie dokie. Let me refresh the browser. I'm assuming we're still live, that the whole stream hasn't crashed. Lost you guys for a second there. My browser wigged out.
Yeah, I could see all of a sudden I was like,
Did my Discord die?
I don't know. It was me, I think. Mine did anyway. Maybe everybody's did. But I was looking and I was like, FlatCap froze, or he's reading a text message, because you're kind of looking down a little bit. Like, that happens sometimes.
The two of you disappeared off of mine.
Oh, okay.
So,
Yeah, the last thing I heard was something about you being in a cellar.
Yeah, replacing the ladder in the root cellar. That's what
replacing the ladder in the root cellar.
And I had said, well, that thing put in its time. It's probably okay for it to retire now. And then I looked up and you were like, I thought, oh, he's reading something. Maybe he's got like an emergency text message from a family member or something.
No, I got nothing. Like, you guys just disappeared from Discord, so I don't know whose problem it was.
I think must have been Discord, because mine went black. My whole Discord screen just went black.
Oh, see, I stayed on mine, but the two of you disappeared one at a time from me.
Interesting.
Yeah,
you both froze and then disappeared, and then you came back, and I didn't have to do anything. So
Houdini, it's a magic trick. It was a magic trick for the stream.
There we go. Yeah, we're talking tech. Why not have tech problems?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, that was like on Sunday. I was doing a talk for my youth pastor was doing his sermon, and he asked a few people to talk about God's gifting and how they use their gifts to serve in the church and outside the church. And so he asked me to do a focus on Born Again Gamer. And so I made a slideshow, and I made a little video with a few clips from the stream, and I gave it to the guy in the sound room, and he goes, I don't know if we're going to be able to get this to play. It doesn't want to work. And I was like, oh, that's kind of sucks. This is supposed to be the youth service. The old people had problems with their computer the day of the 50 plus service a couple of weeks ago. And they were like, well, it's, we'll go old school. We'll use the hymnals, and there's not going to be any stream. So we couldn't stream that service because something went wrong with the computer. And then I thought, oh, now he called it the 50 minus service. And and we had IT problems too. So no, but it worked out. They were able to play the video, which was nice.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, as a backup, you could always have it as a Google file, or have it as private on YouTube, and just open up YouTube, and we'll play it off of there.
I did. It was in Google Drive, and I just shared the video with them so they could watch it. And so yeah, I could have just made up a QR code or something for it and shared it and tell everybody, okay, everybody take a second, scan the QR code, look down at your phone, and I'll wait while you guys watch the video on your phones and tablets.
Yeah, that would be fun. I hadn't thought about doing that.
I told my pastor a couple weeks ago they had trouble with well, that was that same week with the overheads. They couldn't get the overheads to work, so they used the hymn books, and he cut a couple of songs because he had a couple of songs in the list that weren't in the hymn books. And I said, you could have just told everybody to pull up the lyrics on their phone. Everybody's got a phone. They could have used those like modern hymn books and just pull them up and sing from that.
Very true.
Yeah. Well, okay. I think hopefully our technical things are.
Hopefully we're done with that.
Yeah.
What have you been up to the last couple of weeks, other than being able to share at your church, about Born Again Gamer?
Well, I had about 2 weeks notice. So for about 2 weeks, I just kind of fretted over that and like tried to keep notes of things I wanted to talk about. I started re-listening so I had already read or listened to Know Thy Gamer by Drew Dixon, one of the founders of Love Thy Nerd. And I loved the book the first time I read it, and I thought, okay, I should probably listen to it again to get some of the thoughts kind of in my head again before I go to do this talk at the church. And then I kind of like changed directions just a little bit, because I was thinking like, okay, I have an opportunity here. I really need to make sure that I convince people at church that games aren't evil. And then I was like, no, the service isn't the Born Again Gamer service. It's about testimonies and it's about gifts and stuff like that. So I swung a little bit more towards the calling and the gift and that sort of stuff, and emphasized on like the people that we're serving and how they have a need to be served and stuff like that, and kind of took my foot off the pedal on the everybody should, not think games are evil. So I did make a mention of, like I said, hey, one of the things that I struggled with when I first started the ministry was, can games be used for ministry? Are games bad? Are games inherently bad? And am I going to get a ton of pushback on it? And so I did quote a paragraph from the book that kind of addresses that, but I didn't do a deep dive on trying the theology of games and stuff like that and play.
Yeah, well, and some people might just need a little bit of, no, we've thought this through.
Mm-hmm.
We have people in our corner theologically thinking about this.
Yeah.
It's okay. And they're like, oh, that's good enough. But the people that are totally against it, you're going to have to do more than just talking to them one time to convince them that, no, games are evil. Games should go away. You should put away childish, things.
Yeah.
Paul says that somewhere, right? Put away child. When I was a child, I thought like a child. I played Nintendo as a child. When I was a man, I put away childish things, and I got Xbox instead and played Fortnite. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. Yeah. So last couple of weeks I've been working on that. I made up like a trifold brochure to print off to hand out to people. Nobody asked for one. I made up I did the talk, I made the slideshow, did the clips for the videos and stuff. And apart from that, just kind of regular stuff, just hanging out and streaming. And yeah, that kind of ate up all my brain power to be able to try and like do anything else. I was like, I didn't want to didn't want to do anything else at the at the time. But now it's over, so I can kind of go back into maybe doing some other stuff.
Yeah.
How about you,
Very good.
Tactical?
Just what have I been up to? Geez, work has been insane. I've been trying to make sure I just keep focusing on what needs to be done and trying to get some content out and working on getting some editing taken care of for clips and whatnot. I've been struggling with internet issues. I was supposed to stream. I only ended up streaming twice last week because they're doing a lot of road construction because I live in a college town.
Okay. Yeah.
So now that school's out, all the road constructions get done because half the population isn't here.
Gotcha.
Well, somebody was doing some digging and they found the rainbow colored roots.
Oh.
and my internet went bye-bye.
Wow.
And that was not fun.
That's unfortunate. Yeah. I feel your pain. They dug up some cables in my yard a couple of years back when they were putting in fiber, and while they were putting in fiber, they hit the copper. It's like, oh, great.
That's It's like, well, somebody's getting in trouble, and all I know that it's not me. That's all that matters.
Yeah. Well, onward and upward. Maybe hopefully we'll have a better week this week. And let's dive in. Let's jump into our podcast topics for the night. So we'll save. I know I put the Fish Shack first, but we'll talk about the Fish Shack towards the end of stream there. So one of the things that I saw recently was that the Unreal Engine 6 has been released, and I find it interesting that they were so excited to like move on to 6 so quickly, but I heard a lot of people complain over the last year or so about the Unreal Engine 5. I don't know if you guys have noticed that, but comment sections and things that I see, people are usually seem to be like just so against Unreal Engine 5 that it's not optimized properly, that it has all these issues. So I was like, oh, it's interesting that it feels to me, maybe they didn't, maybe I'm out of the loop, but it feels to me like they jumped to 6 quickly compared with previous engines.
Well, when did 5 come out is the big thing. Like, when was 5's official launch?
I don't know. They disappeared. Sorry, dear. I don't know.
It's about to get dark.
Let me see. It is.
Unreal Engine.
So Unreal Engine 5 released in 22.
Okay. Okay, so it's been out for a while.
So, I mean,
that's a long time, actually. Yeah.
Unreal Engine is supposed to get an update. 5.8 is going to release somewhere around mid-June with Unreal Fest.
Okay.
But I mean, Unreal Engine 5 was started in the works in 2020. So I don't know. Maybe it is time for an upgrade. I mean, it's been around for a while.
That's true. That's three plus years. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's interesting because maybe it's only recently that it's gotten bad and people complain about it. But I just always see people like, I hope they don't use Unreal Engine 5 for that because it's so buggy or it's not optimized and things are going wrong with it all the time. And I was like, oh wow, I don't think I've ever heard anyone complain about an engine so much except for Destiny's engine, although the main issue with that was the fact that they couldn't easily add content into the game. Like they pretty much had to like rebake the whole game to add content to it, which made it really inefficient for like adding in new maps and adding in new DLCs and things like that. But I don't remember ever hearing about complaints about a game engine the way that I have about Unreal 5 over the last couple of years. It's been interesting. But 6, it's interesting that with 6, the way that they're planning to showcase it, the first game that they're going to redo with Unreal Engine 6 is Rocket League.
Interesting.
Right?
It's a bold choice.
I find it kind of interesting. I think the article I read said that it's that Rocket League is still running on Unreal Engine 3, and it hasn't been
Oh.
updated since then. So it might be
Oh,
due for an
wow.
upgrade.
Then that
But
would definitely be due for an upgrade.
it makes me wonder. My son plays it on his Nintendo Switch, like not Switch 2, Switch 1. And if they
Yeah.
jump to a new engine that's that much more advanced, is he going to be able to run it anymore? Or is he going to be kind of kicked out?
You might not be able to, just like after so long, every company retires older stuff because running patches and maintaining it becomes, financially not a viable system
Yeah.
to be able to do that. Unfortunately, sometimes it is a matter of hardware that you
Mhm.
have to replace,
Yeah.
not just the games or, other things like my Nest, which got retired last October from Google.
Yeah.
That's like, no, you can't have that one anymore.
The
Now,
software doesn't support it.
yeah,
Yeah.
thankfully, it could still function as a non-smart switch, so I didn't have to immediately replace it. So
Mhm.
it might just be a matter of, yeah, when you upgrade or they do
Yeah.
it, certain things will no longer function on there, or the new ones won't back function.
Yeah. Maybe they'll leave the old version live on older systems or something like that, but you won't be able to play with people who are on the new version, maybe, or something.
Yeah, because I wonder if it has. I wonder if they're gonna go into that because it was gonna be a console game. I don't know. Yeah, that's gonna be
Mhm.
hard because it's almost they're almost gonna have to. If they're gonna split the version like that, they're almost to split it like Bedrock and Java for Minecraft,
Or
just
Rocket League
for the
2 or
operating
something
systems.
like that, right? Like,
Yeah.
hey, Rocket League 2 is out. Everybody moves on to that, but the people who can't afford to stay on Rocket League 1.
Yeah.
Well,
Or
but the problem is that usually when you build a new engine, the old one, the servers shut down because like people don't use Unreal Engine 4 anymore. It's not available.
Hmm. Yeah, I suppose.
At least
Hmm.
that's not to my knowledge.
Yeah. Interesting to see how that goes. For sure.
if there's
Now,
money, if there's money to keep it there, then they'll keep it there.
That's the thing too.
right.
Yeah, are they making enough money off of the old one to even care? Because it's free to play, so it would all be through microtransactions and stuff, right?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
yeah, I guess.
There's enough of those happening in game that you're buying all the skins, you're buying all the upgrades, you're buying all the perks,
Yeah.
you're subscribing to that stuff, and if those things keep happening, well, then it's worth the money to just leave it sit.
And maybe the engine will be optimized enough that it will run on that they can make it run on the Switch one still. I don't know. I don't know how that's gonna go.
Have to wait and see.
They may only release the UE6 version on PC. Oh, maybe, yeah. Blanco said, yeah, because yeah, it would be interesting to see. I'm curious how much of their player base plays on older consoles like the Switch, or maybe like an original Xbox, not the Series S or whatever. Because if they cut them off, and those people aren't going to or can't upgrade to a Switch 2 or a Series S or X or a gaming PC, then now
Right.
the people who paid those microtransactions and were paying the bills to help keep the game afloat are no longer customers. Hey, Holly.
Well, yeah, because they'd be alienating an entire fan base just solely off the fact that they're playing on older generation consoles.
Mm-hmm.
Well, sometimes I don't know that they always consider money that's previously been spent. They're
Yeah.
considering money in the future because, you know,
Yeah.
I don't remember when it was, but Facebook did have you could purchase different things for your avatar, and they had a flat cap, and I went and purchased the flat cap. I no
Yeah.
longer have it because they eliminated
They
it.
just decided it wasn't part of the system. Yeah.
Yeah, they eliminated it. It's like, well, you know what? I'm not going to do. I'm not going to spend money to get a flat cap again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's
Yeah,
what. Yeah. Weird.
that's the thing to consider too, is that they're probably just wanting to because they know people are gonna buy into it. They know people are gonna
Yeah.
it falls in the same reason as why Call of Duty makes a new Call of Duty every other year.
Yeah.
and sports games make a new sport game every year because it's the same game, just different names.
Yeah, I guess
But
if they do
there's
cut
people out
off,
there who will buy it.
yeah, if they cut off their player base and it's smaller, then they only have up to go from there, right? Like in 3 years, when that kid who couldn't afford a Switch 1 gets a Switch 2 for Christmas, he's going to jump right back on Rocket League and start buying accessories for his car. So,
Exactly.
yeah. Cool. Cool. Well, the next thing on the list here, I was doing some reading, and I guess there's this game that some researchers created that is excellent at spotting depression in people as you play. Did you guys have a chance to
Yeah.
see that?
Yeah. Yeah, I looked at that. That's really fascinating. I love that idea because you could like just think about it. You're a teacher. You're assessing some kids. You're trying to say stuff. You send them to the counselor. The counselor in the school can say, "Hey, play this game for 5-10 minutes." Because I
Mm-hmm.
think it was only 5 minutes. Um, play the game, and the way that you play it, if you are in the middle of depression, is different than other people would play the game who are not depressed. I'm not surprised that they could identify that. I'm really encouraged by that because maybe it's like even think about this if it goes beyond that like hey, I as a parent know this game exists. If I'm worried about my kid, I could have my kid play this game and then send that information to a counselor that I know and then
Mm-hmm.
try to go get my kid to see the counselor. So I'm thinking there's some really good potential in that. Now, I still want the professional
The full
to do the assessment
diagnosis. Yeah.
to yes, I don't wanna trust it to the game, but I
Yeah.
love it as a tool to help you,
Well,
especially
maybe
I'll just
almost
I'll
like a
just
triage, right? Like,
right, right.
yeah.
I'll say this when, one of my kids had trauma that happened to him and then began acting out, was not young enough to articulate what was going on, what he was feeling,
Mm.
what had happened to him fully from embarrassment and other things. Uh, so they did a thing called play therapy. So it's not sitting there talking, it's sitting there with games and doing things. So they've had
Yeah.
some of these tools to let play be an indicator of assessment and healing.
Yeah.
And so I love that they're advancing this and not just using technology to make money, but using it to help people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, I scanned this article a handful of times, but I didn't see the actual name of the game in it.
No, I don't know, and I don't know if you can just go and download it or anything. I think I also scanned it a couple times, and I was like looking like, is there a link I can click to like play
No,
it?
they didn't.
Um,
They didn't have that. I think they want to keep it as an assessment tool
yeah,
and not just release it out there to everybody. And maybe they need to do a little bit more of credentialing because if that game's out there and other people are playing, it's because it's not designed to just let everybody play it. It's
mhm,
designed to be an
a
assessment
tool.
tool, an
Yeah,
aid to help. So I could see them not releasing it.
yeah. They said about 70% of clinically depressed people will experience uh, anhedonia, the inability to experience much pleasure or joy from normally rewarding things like food, hobbies, social interactions. This loss of joy, the researchers say, is linked to something known as reference point, the unconscious benchmark of expectations that people compare life events to. So as they play the game, there's an action and a reward, as many games have, and the players, I think they're picking apples from a tree as they've fallen or something like that. And at a certain point, the the return starts to get smaller, and a player who's not experiencing depression will handle that in one way, will maybe just continue to click apples and pick up apples no matter what, whereas they said that people with depression may click the button that gives them a new tree or something like that, and they'll just start over or something. I can't remember the exact science and the exact way that they're measuring it, and I might have gotten the two flipped, but regardless, the people who have created it have done enough studies to see that there's a very big difference between the way that people play the game, which is, yeah,
Yeah,
it's pretty
I
cool.
don't remember which one that it was there, but I do remember them talking about, like things that happen in normal life. Like if suddenly somebody decides to buy you ice cream and hands you ice cream, there's
Mhm.
a moment of joy that you experience there as a kid. Like boom, straight up ice cream. Like I'm having a
Yeah.
good day. And then your expectation of ice cream might be there the next day and the next day because maybe the person will buy it again, but then it
Yeah.
resets to normal and you're okay with that
Yeah.
resetting to normal. But a person who has, maybe experiencing depression does not experience that. Oh, it's okay again. It's like, no, my life is awful again. They might not even
They
experience
dip
the fullness.
deeper than
Right.
the
The
other.
joy might not even have been there of the ice cream when you gave it to them in the same way that somebody else is going to be really excited. They're like, oh, okay, ice cream.
Mm.
Oh, so this is interesting. They are. It's still in partial development, like it's still in clinical trials, but it will not be at all available for public download. It'll be prescribed.
Interesting.
Oh,
So
okay. Okay.
so it'll be only available through, I guess, people who work in that aspect of mental health field tied in with NYU, who have access to allow their patients to use the games. It'll only be on designated devices.
The officer, I have a license to play this game.
It's medicinal, sir. It's an RPG.
It's
I know.
medicinal game to play.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That is interesting though. Yeah, and it's
But,
very
but I
cool that
do.
they're
I will
using
admit, I
games.
do like that because then people aren't just because
You could have
then it's
an
not just
influx of people saying, I need treatment because I played this game and it hasn't actually been analyzed by a professional. And
right.
there
Because
could be those out
what this
there.
says, because the 3-minute smartphone game is currently seeking regulatory clearance as a medical device / prescription.
Mhm.
It is not and will not be available for public download or gameplay on app stores.
Oh, so you might have to get it on a physical device. Then it would be hard for somebody to crack it or emulate it. Blanco says so it'll be available through other methods by the end of the day, end of the first day, the black market.
Yep.
Some black market games, Blanco.
Yeah, maybe it will actually be a
Black market depression game.
well, maybe it is a game that you actually get. You
Mhm.
play it, and then like, are you going to keep playing it? Like, is it going to have therapeutic elements after the diagnosis that then you would maintain and continue to play? I mean, if
Mm.
not, it's a matter of take this, go play this. Like, if it's a
Bring it
5-minute
back.
assessment,
Yeah,
you do it in the office. You don't need to take it home, so to speak.
maybe. Yeah, maybe that's
Right,
how they
because it
keep it
doesn't
on
sound like
lockdown.
it's like a tool that helps with depression, but more
No,
so
it doesn't like fix
something
it.
that it diagnoses it or catches it. It's almost like I think a good analogy would be like it's a drug sniffing dog.
Yeah.
Like it catches it in the moment, but it doesn't and helps analyze a problem, but it's not something you take home to prevent the problem.
Mhm.
Yep.
Quiz King, thanks for the raid. Welcome
Hey,
in.
welcome in, man.
Have to get Quiz on the stream sometime too.
And it's
And
Samus.
J Trip and Samus.
Samus.
Yo,
I've
thanks
seen
for
you
the raid,
around.
guys.
Samus is the number one homie. She's
Wow.
legit.
It's high praise. Well, yeah, I'm interested to keep following that story and
Definitely.
see how
Now
it
I
progresses.
wonder if during this like trial period, it's only going to be a thing that's only available through NYU, through their center.
Right, or if they'll hand it out to other. I think it would be
Or
interesting to
if,
see how it fares in different places, different countries, or just different states
yeah.
as they develop it more and get it working.
Well, and you want to do it right. You don't want to have it giving false information, those
Yeah.
kinds of things. The same way that you can go ask AI for something it's going to give you an answer. And unless you give it permission to say, no, there is no answer to this, if you can't find one, then
Mhm.
don't come back and make something up.
Right.
So you wouldn't want the game to give false information or false diagnosis or any of those kinds of things. So I do appreciate that they're going to maybe have this smaller containment of it, refine it before sharing it and moving on.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Good.
interesting.
This one was surprised me actually. SteamOS, Valve released a version of SteamOS for ARM Linux,
Saw that.
which includes, I believe, Android, as long as your device can support it. So I did a little search when I read it, because I have a Logitech G Cloud device that runs Android, and I was like, okay, can I run SteamOS on this device? And I, unfortunately, AI believes that I probably could not, because the processor in it is so low spec, low power. It's mostly just meant for streaming or like really low end games running on the device, so I can't run it. But I think it would be interesting to see where it goes from there, because there are a lot of Android handheld gaming devices out there that could probably support it. So yeah, I'm interested to see.
So it would just be an Android gaming device, not my actual Android phone.
Yeah, I wonder. I don't know about phone. I guess if your phone was powerful enough, but I don't know.
'Cause
Maybe most phones
'cause,
aren't. Or
well, I would think my phone is on the end of being powerful
yeah,
enough.
like
Um,
the higher end Samsungs and things like
yep,
that.
I
Yeah,
am I am in the higher end Samsung,
yeah,
you know, the one what used to be the Note. I don't know what the name is now because they changed it, but
yeah,
with the stylist in there, it's the higher processor, it's the
yeah,
higher of all
Oh
of the
yeah,
ones that come up.
the S series.
yeah.
I don't remember what it called it anymore.
S26 Ultra or something.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
Yeah,
I have the S22 Ultra and I
yeah,
have the pen.
Ultra, that's what it is. Yes,
yeah,
Ultra, that's the word I was looking
yeah,
for. Yeah,
yeah.
so it's Ultra now. So it's like I got enough power to do a lot of stuff on my phone. If I could run a few Steam games, I might be interested in trying that. Because to go out and buy a new device to
Yeah.
just play games on, I'm not interested in.
But the
But
thing is, it won't be an app that you can just download. You're gonna have to like flash. I assume. I don't know how if you'd be able to dual boot it. You're gonna have to
uh
install SteamOS on your device.
okay. Well, okay, so it is the OS, 'cause so it wouldn't
Yeah,
just be a Steam game because I can, download Steam on the, to be able to, I guess, access my
Cloud
account.
Play. Yeah, you
But
can stream them from your PC to your phone. I know already, but no, this is a full on OS version
okay.
for ARM.
Yeah, if it's a full-on OS, I'm not overwriting
Right.
um, my phone just to be able to play it. But it was just like that was my thought. Like, oh, I've never wanted to go buy a device, but if
Hmm.
I could, if like all I could do is have to download and open it up and
Yeah.
run it, I might be interested in trying it.
Hmm. Cadis was saying they still need a compatibility layer, since the most of the games themselves are x64 based, which is true. Yeah, they probably are including that, like you said, Cadis. If they're ready to release an OS for it, I would hope that they're not going to force all their users to try and do all sorts of workarounds to get the games to work. That they would want it to just work right out of the box, like the Steam Deck.
Yeah.
They don't seem to be like they. I think they want to kind of try to take over from console businesses as like an easy to play type of thing, with like the Steam Deck is. Or do you guys know if you've got a Steam Deck, are you already having to do a lot of tinkering? I know my friend who got one of the Windows handheld devices, the MSI Claw, he has to do quite a bit of tinkering to get certain games to work in certain ways, or to get the game to recognize the
Well, I think the
controllers.
problem is that I think the problem you run into with a handheld device, regardless of who makes it, um, is you run into the fact that it's just not optimized for every single game that's available
Yeah.
for that platform.
Well, and the GPUs are
Like,
not, it's not the same as a desktop,
Definitely not.
4060 or 5060 or whatever.
right, and
It's
so you're
a
running into the performance issues, you're running into the response issues. You run the risk that could be a lot of I've noticed this in the Switch One. I've noticed it with Switch Twos. I've noticed it in Xbox controllers since day one of Xbox. The biggest thing you run into is you run into really bad, shoddy Joy Cons. and you get really bad stick drifts. And also, you can't play a competitive. You can't play a competitive game on a 6-inch screen.
I wonder if people might argue that. I know when I was playing some Halo and Call of Duty and stuff like that with some friends who were big into the like ladder match websites for leagues. The ML, I think they had a team in the MLG, and they preferred a smaller screen over. I was playing on my like 45-inch TV or whatever, 42-inch TV, and they were like in their little rooms with like a 19-inch monitor or smaller. Like they really liked not having to look around to see things, right?
Yeah, that's fine. Like a small monitor to that degree, but we're talking like a device like the size of a Switch screen.
Yeah, true.
I'm not gonna willingly play a competitive game on that because I'm not gonna be able to see half the screen.
Right.
Not
even just to get your fix on the road. If you like, I know, like I like to play stuff. Even if I like to play it competitively on the PC, I think it would be cool to be able to play like Destiny.
I think it'd be cool to play on the road, but I'm too competitive, and I'd let the fact that the screen's too small bother me.
I hear you.
Yeah,
but that's just me.
Yeah, and I've never gotten into the play in a handheld device, other than back in the day when the whole game was the handheld device, you know.
Yeah.
So you're playing Tecmo and you're holding the Tecmo control, you know, it's everything. It's all self-contained.
Yeah.
So, and you're just dots on the screen. So I've never, you know, tried to play on a handheld device and do things other than, you know, like a phone game that's on there, like Candy Crush or something like that, where you're just swiping and moving things, which is, you know, frankly, you're just on there killing time for the most part.
Quiz said, I get tunnel vision too much to be able to play well in a competitive environment. And Blanco said, Valve is the most platform agnostic developer since Steam is Linux based anyway, and most of the games are originally developed for Windows. So TV versus monitor could make a difference due to frame refresh rates. Same with either versus handheld screens. Most handhelds nowadays are running at 120 hertz. And I guess if you want more than that, you'd have to go to a monitor. You'd have to be on a PC. But those devices can be plugged into an external monitor, so you could have your Steam Deck or your MSI or your Lenovo Legion or whatever,
and that's where they get a huge win in my books, especially the Switch with the docking station.
Yeah,
the fact that I can take the core system of that console and I can play it on a larger screen.
Yeah.
Like since I recently acquired a Switch 1 from a friend of mine for very, very cheap. And since I got it, I have not taken it out of the docking station because it plays on my PC, and I am like, okay, this is the comfortableness that I want this at. It is big enough to where I can see everything, but it's not big enough that it blows out the image and everything looks terrible. And I'm able to actually like enjoy the game at a full screen, feeling like I'm playing it on my PC, but knowing that I'm not.
Very cool. Yeah. Well, so SteamOS for ARM. It's something that I'm interested in seeing how it goes. I don't have a device that can run it, so I'm kind of watching from the sidelines, but I think that'll be interesting to see how many people can actually make use of it, and if it boosts their numbers significantly, because it seems like maybe that's another kind of an angle to get ahead of other stores like Epic and Good Old Games and Microsoft and different things like that, right? Just get more users.
Yeah. You know, be a niche, or, you know, go to another niche market, but be the one that dominates it.
Yeah. Speaking of Microsoft or Windows or Xbox, it's their 25th anniversary, and they announced a 25th anniversary Xbox Series X that has the same kind of color schemes and button designs and things like that as the original Xbox, which was super cool. But one thing I noticed that I wondered is they're also just happened to be releasing this year a new version of Halo, a new Fable, a new Gears of War. It's like, I wonder if they lined up like new old school looking Xbox with new copies of like original games that helped launch the Xbox into popularity.
So I'm going to get on my soapbox for a minute. I love the fact that they are doing this because I'm an OG Xbox kid. I mean, first game I ever played was NASCAR on the OG Xbox.
Yep.
And I loved it, and it was so much fun. I used to play GTA San Andreas as a kid on that game because I was like, "Ooh, car game."
Mm-hmm.
Yep, it's a car game.
Yeah,
it's
depends how you play
it. And so I grew up with that, and then so my next console was a 360, and I played Minecraft on that. I played Destiny. I did so much on Xbox, and it was my childhood. Every console I have owned except for one that wasn't even mine was an Xbox console. Halo, I played through the entirety of the Halo series. I played the crap out of Fabled, and Gears of War is probably one of my all-time favorite game franchises ever.
Really?
And the fact that they're releasing a prequel game that gives us the backstory to the whole cause of the franchise.
Mm-hmm.
I've never wanted to spend money so fast in my life.
I'm just hoping they don't ruin the franchise with the prequel.
I'm hoping they don't. There's a lot on the table for this. If they mess this up, they're gonna have a lot of angry people to answer to.
Yeah, that's for sure. I had been, Nintendo since, NES, and then I went a little PC along the way there, but I didn't jump into Xbox till 360, and then I've been console pretty much until the last couple of years since Xbox 360 came out. So, uh, you know, I'm excited about the idea of it coming out. I don't know if I want to buy the brand new console or not. I haven't seen. I know, yeah, you're gonna have 1 terabyte, but I always get the external drive, so that doesn't bother me if it's less. It's more. I'm still on the one. I haven't gone to the X. Is this the X that's going to get me to come back and buy a console or not? Is this the right time? Those kinds of things. But yeah, the celebration of things, bringing out like old classics, refreshing them, doing some stuff with that.
Yeah.
I do love that idea of things. Sometimes I though I don't want it to be for money, like take the game that we could play back then, bring all the features we love of the stuff that's developed over the years, add it back into it, but you've got to add something new too. There's got to be something new for me because otherwise I'm just like, oh, so you just reskinned this game with that game, and there's nothing here for me to discover, nothing for me to explore.
Especially if you want the full $80 or $90. I could see if they just did an HD upgrade and said, hey, we want $40 or $50. Then that's a whole different story, right?
Yeah.
So I get that, and the problem is with most of those is that they already re-released all the Halos and remastered most of them because they did the Master Chief Collection. Were there a couple that they missed that I'd love to see remastered? Yes, absolutely. Like ODST. If they remastered ODST, I will buy that right this second.
ODST was so good.
And the same thing with Gears of War. They already remastered the first one. They're probably not going to remaster any of the others, but 4 and 5 are the two most recent, and they were amazing. But if we get a Gears of War game that's supposed to happen 20 years before the events of the first game, with the mechanics that we had in the fifth game or for the fifth game, take my money.
Well, and that's where sometimes I'm a little nervous on that. So right now, Assassin's Creed is working on a new Black Flag Pirates There's supposed to be some side stories not in the original. There's supposed to be some other things, and I'm just like going, yeah, but are you gonna ruin it? You know, is it really gonna be everything that I want it to be? And I'll tell you what, I played Black Flag so much, my kids knew the sea shanties.
That I
Um,
agree with.
so also I didn't know half of what they were singing, so just me being me, made up words to half of what they were singing. And there's a favorite one in my family that I have no idea that what they're really saying, but stupid tiny falcon. I hate the tiny falcon. Do what tiny falcons do. That is not the words to the sea shanty. But the school mascot was Falcon, so it just became this fun sea shanty that I would sing when they would walk in the room and playing. So it's like, I'm really nervous to go buy that one. And also I got to upgrade in order to go buy that. I got to go buy the console to buy the game.
Yeah.
And so like this gives me one more reason to decide go back to console. It's like, you're going to release these. I want those games. They're nostalgic in some way.
Yeah.
Okay, it's time to go buy, and then I'll just have to evaluate. Do I go fully to the one you're trying to sell me as the, special edition, or will that cause the price of all the old ones to go down on the X series, and I can just upgrade
Maybe.
and not have to spend all the money? I have to wait and see.
So I see your point with the Black Flag, because it depends on, I haven't played Black Flag in like, oh Lord, I haven't played that game in years, because
Yeah.
I haven't had a console in years. So I can't remember the exact like full length of a playthrough. But if they want people to get their money's worth, adding stuff makes sense. But if the game's long enough without it, I don't think they should be adding stuff. I think a remastered game should just be that. It should be remastered. It should be the exact game as it was, with updated everything, with updated performance, graphics, etc.
Well, one of the things that Assassin's Creed does often is DLC content, which
Right.
is go off and you can do this adventure, you can add this to it. So I'm only viewing it in that regards of they're adding side quests that you can go and do those things, which for me is more of a reason to, okay, why not go play the old game unless you're going to do something new with it? So for me, that's what I want. It doesn't have to be much, really, to say, okay, I can play through all these other things. Oh, now I'm remembering it. They're adding some storyline pieces. That makes sense. Maybe, there's some things, if you ever played through it, where there are the Armada. There's like 4 Armada ships that you can go and destroy. I was never good enough to even go last more than 5 minutes with those. So it'd be like, all right, in the news version, can I actually defeat them? Let me go see what it could happen, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'm excited. I have obviously, like you said, I'm a sucker for nostalgia. So when they're using those trigger words like Halo, Fable, and Gears of War,
Yeah, I
granted,
hadn't heard Fable. That
granted,
excites me too.
I'm very biased. So Gears of War, like I said, Gears of War is one of my favorite video game franchises of all time. I had someone 3D print me custom cog tags, just because I thought they were the coolest thing, the coolest in-game item ever.
That's pretty cool.
But I'm trying my hardest to not let my nostalgia and my love of that series blind me.
Yep.
Because, like you said, I want this game to be worth it. And from the stuff that I've seen and the stuff that I've read through, I am ecstatic.
I'll say this. I'm excited about it, but I'm going to wait for what the reviews are, wait for how everybody else assesses it, and then decide how quickly after that do I step in and decide I'm going to jump on board. I'm not going to do the pre-sale, which, back in the day I did the pre-sale on a lot of different things. I haven't done that in a long time, and I probably won't do it for this.
Speaking of pre-sale, I don't want to go too far off topic because I was liking what we were talking about, but the pre-sale, there's a $400 pre-sale thing for the new James Bond game, the new light.
$400.
It comes with a little gun statuette thing and like a couple of and like a compass or a pocket watch or something and a couple other things was like $400 is crazy.
That is, I can't say that word on stream.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
nuts. Yeah. No. But no, yeah. The I'm just too cheap to buy a system that is it's the 25th anniversary edition, but it runs exactly the same. It's not upgraded in any way. Like I'm still running an Xbox Series S, and I don't touch that enough, and so I couldn't see myself dropping any money on.
Do we know the price of the new console?
I didn't see
I don't
it.
know if they've announced it yet, but I don't think it's going to be much more. I don't know that it's going to be very much more than a regular one, because it's the same. It's just a 1 terabyte edition. I couldn't see them. That would
Because this might get me to buy an Xbox again.
Yeah, that's what Blanco said the same. He's like, I don't usually buy Xboxes, but this might make me want to get one. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. That's a good question, but I could see it being annoying for a lot of people if they did, because they've already hiked the price up on the Series S and X in the last year or so. Like they were what, $700 or something like that, or 800, and then it like jumped up $100. I'm quoting prices in Canadian, but you know, same idea down there. They, for some reason, they're raising prices on something that's already been made, already been out for
some of
5+
that
years.
that is supply chain is what some of that is, and
Right.
you know, so you end up with some supply chain and you know, tariffs if that is in place, and
Right.
you know, it affects more than just what's actually being impacted.
Yeah,
And
it's just
Right.
It seems so funny to me though that we haven't, like, you know, when I bought mine, my Series S was 300. I think I got it on sale for 300 or 350 or something like that. And it's not like over time, because of improvements in the supply chain and improvements in the manufacturing process, it's gone down and it was $200 and then they raised the price again. It's always been 300 or 350 and then they raised the price on it again.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
oh, it would balance out a little bit nicer if over time, like, you know, it was easier to get.
Speaking of things being worth it, I think that's a wonderful segue for our next topic. Is the Switch 2 worth it?
I don't think so.
I have dogs in both sides of the fight because I can see why it could be worth it, but I could also see very much so why it could not. I see the Switch 2. I compare Switch 2 to Switch 1, Switch 2 as looking at Xbox Series X or S versus Xbox One. There are going to be some games that you just can't play on the Xbox One because they're made specifically for the Xbox Series X or S.
Yep.
Same thing with Switch. There are some games that are made for Switch 2, specifically for Switch 2, that you're not going to be able to play on the Switch 1 because the Switch 1 software or hardware just can't handle it.
Mm-hmm.
That being said,
is there enough though?
Not only is there enough, but is there enough that are enticing enough?
Mm-hmm.
Because Switch 2 is new enough that you need to be looking at quality of the game as well as quantity of game.
Yeah.
Like DK
Absolutely.
Bonanza, that was a quality game. I mean, it was a finalist for Game of the Year. That's how often has a Nintendo game been a finalist for Game of the Year?
Yeah. Well, other than Zelda.
Well, even think
than
about
the Zelda game.
Yeah, you can go back to, you know, DS and the progression there. When did you need to make the switch over, and was there enough content on the new platform to make the switch over from there? So
right, was there enough content, and if so, was it good enough to warrant a switch?
Yeah.
Because I remember when I had my DS Lite. I mean, for crying out loud, I still have it.
Me too.
And they announced the 3DS.
Yep.
And I said, "Oh, that's cool. I wonder if I can still play the games on my DS." No, because they put that stupid little kickstand on the side of the cartridge, so you can't put a 3DS cartridge in a regular DS system.
Yeah.
But you can. But they made it so you can put a DS
exactly.
light system into the new one.
Yeah.
That's where I see the side of being for it, thinking it is worth
Yeah.
it, because yes, you have to spend more money on another console, which is, but it's how every console handheld system thing works.
Yeah.
There's going to be a new version of it at some point in time. It's like upgrading your PC parts.
I just wonder, is it worth it? And part of my question is it worth it now? I could see wanting one or getting one. I mean, I want one now, but is it worth it for my cost, for like $800 or $900 or whatever it is, plus a game to play? I tried Mario Kart World at the store, and I felt like the controls were a step backwards in terms of how it played, how it handled. I much prefer still Mario Kart 8 Deluxe than I do Mario Kart World. But other than that, I'm like, Donkey Kong Bonanza, it looks like a fantastic game, and I'd love to play it, but I don't although I bought my Switch so that I could play Breath of the Wild, I don't very often buy a console so I can play just one game. And so all the other ones are remakes of Switch 1 editions, it feels like. I know there's a couple other things out, and they're going to be porting games from other consoles, but
yeah, that's also one of those things that's easier to do, is just maneuver them old content with a little bit of addition to the new platform so that you have enough content to be able to have people playing. Samus was saying, well, if you don't have a Switch 1, then Switch 2 might be worth it.
Yeah.
The problem is when does the new console become, yes, this is the one that's going to last for a while, and yes, there's enough content out there, and yes, it's worth me to make that switch over to it versus stay where I am.
Yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Because and I think, and I'm with both of you on what you just said, because I think I think right now the constant revomit of Switch 1 games that they're just sprucing up and giving this car dealership special to put out on the Switch 2. I want to believe it's filler content to give people something to do.
Yeah,
exactly.
To hold them over until companies can start making games that are designated specifically for Switch 2, like Pokemon Pokopia, specifically designated for Switch 2. Great game, but is Pokopia and a few other games like Mario Kart and Donkey Kong worth buying a Switch 2? No, I don't think so.
Yeah, and I think we're kind of getting that sentiment from the chat here. Blanco has a Switch 2 and says he doesn't think that it's worth it yet, but that once they flesh them out. Kate has said it reminds me of the 3DS, that they had a rough start because it was a lot of just DS games being remade for the 3DS.
That's what I was comparing it to. Yeah, the 3DS.
Yeah, and Quiz King says, I don't know if there's enough exclusives to make the jump from 1 to 2. I don't regret my purchase, but Nintendo has been slow making a bigger show for exclusives.
And we haven't had any sort of a Nintendo showcase for over a year now, which I know you had sent a thing about in the thing, and I was already talking about it with friends at work, because we got State of Play, we got Xbox's summer games, but why has Nintendo been so quiet? What are they not doing, or what are they doing that's been taking their time away from stuff like this and not building hype?
Well, and that's why I did send that article, because there's apparently supposed to be a Nintendo Direct in the next couple days. But the article that I looked at, their estimates as to what they might show off, it's like almost all Switch 2 versions of older games. And I'm like, well, why? Why are we doing this again? I don't know. Quiz King says tomorrow at 10.
Tomorrow at 10. All right.
Nice.
We'll have to some of us will have to watch that and get some insight, see if they actually release anything.
I usually don't get a chance to watch it live, but I'll watch the replay.
I'm with everybody in chat and with you guys that I don't think, if you've invested the money into a Switch 1, where say you've had like a Switch 1 since like very beginning, or like since like the OLED came out.
Yeah.
I think an OLED's running just as good as a Switch 2.
The other option, and I don't know if anyone's doing this yet, but I do remember when the 3DS came out because the regular DS or the DS Lite, I remember which one my kids had. GameStop had a deal, trade in your old one to get the 3DS. And it was not a bad deal for trading in.
Right. Yeah.
And so it made it worth it of doing the upgrade. And they wanted to do it. They were excited about doing it. And I'm like, fine, you can make the decision about it. It's your console. But know this, and went through all the limitations of those things. They never regretted their trading in their old one to do the upgrade. So if somebody's offering some of those, and I don't know that anybody is right now, but if you have
Yeah.
some of those, that's worth it's not worth buying. But if I can transfer and all my other games I already have are compatible, well then sure, let's move over there.
To
Yeah.
my knowledge, I don't think they ever offered anything like that for the Switch 2.
Yeah.
No, I can't imagine that because I think it's usually like for us up here, we had, it's called Electronic Games Boutique, EB Games, Electronic Boutique Games. Yeah. Anyway, they got bought out by GameStop, then they got sold back to a Canadian owner, and now they're going back to their original name. But I don't think that they're hurting for Switches. I think there's a lot of Switches, and a lot of people have traded in Switches or gone from a Switch to an Xbox or a Switch to a PlayStation or something like that.
Right.
Because last time I was in, they had a ton of them for sale. And they're not selling them super cheap, which makes me think also they're not having a hard time selling them. So, yeah, I could see if they didn't have any, then they would be like, oh, we need your Switch, bring it in and trade it in for a Switch 2. And then that way they can kind of keep selling the Switch 1 to people who don't want to get the Switch 2. But I don't see that happening, at least up here.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do a fun little experiment. I'm gonna type in Nintendo Switch on Facebook Marketplace,
There's a bunch.
and I'm gonna see what comes up.
Yeah, I went looking recently.
Okay.
EGWife says, I can't give my old systems up. No, I have in my youth, I had systems that I sold so that I could get another one. And now that I'm a little bit older, I'm like, oh, I wish I didn't do that.
Yeah, I definitely have those regrets of selling my old consoles when I was in college and broke to, buy food or pay rent. And I really wish I had, my original NES with all of my games that I had for it. I really wish I had that still.
Yeah, I miss my GameCube. I had a GameCube and it's gone. It's Legend of Zelda's 40th anniversary. Ooh,
on Facebook Marketplace, just scrolling through after typing in Nintendo Switch, of the first like 20 results, like 11 of them are people selling their Switch 2s.
Switch 2s. Oh wow. Maybe because maybe they regretted it and they just haven't had enough. They're not getting enough use out of it. And that's the other thing too. Even if you can afford a Switch 2, some of the manufacturers are making the games for both. They're still making the games for Switch 1 and Switch 2, and you could get a used Switch 1 on Marketplace for like $200 instead of $800. Yeah.
My friend bought his. Okay, so my friend that I bought my Switch 1 from, he bought his Switch 2, bought all the stuff, spent like $800 on the whole shebang for everything. He sold me his Switch 1 with docking station and stuff included, $50.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer.
Nice. Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, and that's I think that's kind of the thing that happens with a lot of them. We're talking about Xbox. I mean, that's why I'm still have not upgraded to S or X from Xbox One, is because they kept having games come out for either console. The new version, the old version. Well, I kept buying the old version. Well, the last Assassin's Creed that came out, I couldn't get it. It was only on X series, and I believe Black Flag, reinvention or re-edition is going to also be X only. So in order to play those two games now, I have to switch console. So it's like, okay, now I need to evaluate what other games are out there. And so a lot of these drops that we were talking about earlier push it over the edge of, okay, in the next year that might happen, But I'm gonna wait till after so I think this was one of those things, like, you don't have to rush and be
Yeah.
I'll just say this, the Apple mentality of Apple releases something new, so you go stand in line so you can be the first person to have it. I really don't think that is a wise financial decision for very many things at all.
No.
No, it's not.
All
But
right.
there's enough people that will do it, so that's why they keep doing it.
Oh,
Sure.
yes. There
Yeah.
definitely are
People
people
vote with
that
their wallets.
Like
yeah.
I know people who will buy. Like I'm not going to call anybody out here specifically, but I know of somebody who purchased a sports game, proceeded to spend an additional $1,200 on this game on in-game stuff. Which, first off, mind-boggling.
Yeah,
Second,
no.
the next year when the new one came out, he bought it right away. And I don't
Yeah.
think he touched the old one. It's like, bro,
Wow.
are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I wish no, if you're going to throw money away like that, give it to me so I can buy my house.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm. Some people just have too much money, says Trip. Yeah. Oh, and EG Wife, that's interesting. Or did you mean Wii U? Because I was going to say, if you've been looking for a Wii and you can't find one, that's very surprising because it was like one of the most sold consoles of its generation, and there should be a ton of them available.
Later said Wii U.
Yeah, and then said Wii U. Yeah, so I wondered.
If she's looking for a Wii U and
Yeah,
can't
sure.
find it, that's understandable because that was one of the least sold consoles of the generation.
Yeah. I managed to nab one from my local pawn shop. They needed someone to fix some computers for them. And they were like, how much do you want to get paid? I was like, well, how about if I fix 10 computers, I get that Wii U that you have on the shelf? And he was like, okay. It's like, yes.
There we go.
Yeah.
Quiz King, I hate the EA for that practice. Just release DLC packages for the updated rosters. Exactly. Just release a live patch for the game. Make it a live service game. Release the patch. And keep making the plebs who spend money on sports games buy sports games.
Do that for 3 or 4 years and then upgrade it when there's a new engine or something or new reasons to do that stuff. But yeah, you don't have to make a whole new game just to update the rosters. Yeah, it's interesting.
And usually, without fail, I'll say this specifically for Madden. When they release a new Madden game, the first week it's out, YouTube is full of people uploading videos of the funniest things just not going right because the game's just not done,
right?
And got rushed and put out.
That's a whole conversation about the game industry. Whole separate conversation about rushing games, not taking the time to make them properly and pushing them out without DLCs.
Now
fixes,
I know
patches.
Like ET. I heard that was rushed.
I can imagine. Rushed straight
now
to the dump.
I know we're talking about games that are new and upcoming and everything's like coming out, but I need a second to honor. We need to take a second to honor an old soul. For those of you who don't know, Destiny 2 is getting its final live update tomorrow.
Oh, it's tomorrow. Yeah, I guess it is tomorrow.
Yeah. The Destiny franchise has been a franchise that's been going strong since early 2014.
Mm-hmm.
And is right up there with Gears of War as one of my favorite video game franchises. Yeah, not only for the game itself, but just for the people that I've met and the communities it's introduced me to.
Yeah.
Like, to show you how big of an impact Destiny has had on my life, I would not be sitting here having this conversation with you two right now if it was not for Destiny existing. Because Destiny is how I met Aki, and Aki's how I got involved with Reach, and Reach is how I got involved with you guys.
That's awesome. Yeah, Destiny's a huge thing. I've always loved it. I wasn't good enough at it for people to want to watch me play it online, so I stopped because I when I started out, I streamed nothing but Destiny 5 days a week. I was playing Destiny every day, and I still continued to play it off stream, and I played it from beta of Destiny 1 and, like you said, early, I think it was like January 2014, and then we had to wait till like September for the full game to come out.
Yep.
That was a tough wait, but yeah, no, it's I've always loved the gameplay, the storylines for the most part. Some of them were hit and miss, but they always had some cool stuff to do, and I loved the PvP and the Gambit and stuff like that. But over the last couple months, it's just kind of gone. You can burn out on it too, right? Like I loved it, and I still would hop in every once in a while and play some PvP, but I didn't always keep up with the storylines and things that were going on in the last couple DLCs because I've just been so busy doing stuff with stream and all this
Right.
stuff that I didn't have time to fit it into my schedule, and then it just kind of goes to the wayside. But it does look like they're making some really interesting updates in the last update to keep it going after they shut down the live service part. I don't know if you've seen any of those, have you?
I've been avoiding everything related to what's going on in the live service because I want no spoilers. I want to come home from work tomorrow, take my shower, park my butt in front of my PC, and I want to do nothing but play Destiny.
Well,
Right.
you're in. I think that you will be pleasantly surprised. From what I've been reading, there's some very cool stuff.
I've heard that they've added new abilities and they changed something with one of the Titan supers. I don't know which one, and I don't know what they did to it, and I can't wait to find out. I'm going to go into the range right away and just start messing with and spam it, clicking buttons and doing all the things.
I want to tell you so bad, but I'm not. There's other stuff. There's a lot of other stuff, not just changes.
I know we're getting
I
know we're getting Pantheon back, and it's going to be permanent. I know they're giving us a lot of stuff that if they gave it to us a month and a half ago,
yeah,
it would have saved the game. They probably could have saved the game and gotten the player count above 10,000. But
no,
I think Destiny has been the unfortunate victim of management abuse because the people who are behind, who are in control of the development of that game, have treated it with such malpractice and neglect that it has driven the franchise long haulers like myself away.
Yeah,
because they've made the game's become stale with not only with content but with just it's okay. We load in, we do the thing,
a new seasonal thing to grind. Yeah. On your first day, make sure that you do 20 instances of this seasonal activity. Oh, it was not that exciting the first 3 times, and now I still have to do it 17 more times to move to move the storyline ahead. One mission or one cutscene.
They took the whole rinse and repeat thing a little too much.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how much of like Final Shape you played or of Renegades you played.
A little bit of Final Shape, barely anything of Renegades.
Okay, so Renegades needed help so badly. So badly. It was such a rinse and repeat. Yeah. They added a new mechanic and then milked the crap out of it and made it as unfun to experience during the campaign that after you finish the campaign, you like, oh, I don't want to go back there and deal with this. I want to do this thing.
Quiz says I'm still salty that they killed Cade 6. That was like 6 years ago. It's funny.
Yes. my favorite meme that I've seen is that they'll play that scene and it will be Bungie and it shows Kate's. It'll show the Aldrin Sov as Bungie about to shoot Cade in the chest, and Cade's labeled as Destiny 2.
Yeah.
And he goes, any last words? And he goes, yeah, how's Marathon? Because Marathon's been flopping hard too. Like Marathon's player count has been going down the toilet.
Yeah, I've heard that they've got some stuff in mind for that to get to keep it going though.
I know they just released season 2.
Because Arc Raiders was like hugely like climbing, and then it had a bit of a fall off because people got tired of the rinse and repeat. Go in, raid, get items. Go in, raid, get items. And then they release a new map, they release a new this, a new that, and then people flock back to it. So I don't know. I think Marathon might be okay for a while.
I think part of the problem is with Marathon is that people treat it like the same way as Arc Raiders, where you can go in and you can be friendly.
Yeah, no,
and try to
it's
and
PvP
be chill
only
with
right now, pretty much, right?
Well,
Like,
it's the same premise as Arc Raiders, where it's quote unquote an extraction shooter.
Yeah.
Where it's go in, do something, do a quest or a thing, do a thing, and then get out.
Yeah.
Collect loot while you're doing said thing and go home.
Yeah.
And Arc Raiders is the same thing. It's go in, do a thing, get loot, or get loot and go home.
But the devs for Arc Raiders pushed, I think, more to the PvE side, or at least made it so that it was easy to do both. From what I gather,
yes,
Bungie wanted Marathon to be PvP. Like, you're in there, you see somebody, shoot them. Like, don't play friendly. And I think that's up to the developers to kind of push, right?
Yes, because I'm with you. I believe, but if people have been going into Marathon from what I've seen, trying to treat it like Arc Raiders, trying to be friendly and make friends with people, whereas other people are, and then they get frustrated because the other people are playing the game the way it's intended.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I had a really funny clip on my channel. I was streaming it during the open weekend before launch, and I had my open mic on, so my proc chat, and I was like, some guy shouted at us, I was like, we can talk about this. He goes, what do you want to talk about? I'm like, I just want to live. And then he downed my one friend, goes, I'm too pretty to die. I'm like, I'm not pretty, but I want to live. And then we both immediately got killed. And it was like, that was hilarious. Like, I view that, like, yes, as much fun as it would be to play that game and be serious, I would play that if I had the game. Well, I have the game technically. I just haven't installed it. I'd play it for content like that. Like, just to be a complete moron and run around and just like, how can I get the funniest clip possible from people?
Yeah, it's Arc Raiders has its moments like that. I had a guy down me. I was right by the train, just about to extract. He shot me. I was down, crawling around, and I said, "Please, no, I have a lot of good stuff." And he just like flashed his flashlight at me a couple times and wandered away. And I was like, "Thank you." Got on the train, extracted. I was like, "Oh." I had like a quest item that I've been looking for like days. It was crazy. It was so funny though. It would have made a good clip. I don't know if I clipped it, but yeah. So long, Destiny 2. Although I hope some of the things they're doing, I won't spoil them for you, might help to make it so that people will keep playing it to some degree, because they're trying to do that to get it to the point where even though it's not going to have updates, that people might still keep playing. So we'll see. Well,
yeah, hopefully.
On to our last story. We're going to talk about the Fish Shack. Some of my community will be familiar with the Fish Shack. It's hard to say without, I don't want to say Fish Shack because it sounds like one word and there's not enough S's and H's in there. So I make a really big point of the Fish Shack. It's a game made by Papa Smack. He was a Reach partner last year when I was there. I mean, maybe the first year too. I'm not sure. But they've created this fishing game that you play in chat on your Twitch stream, and you can catch fish. You can upgrade your fishing rod. There's like leaderboards for best fish caught. There's a whole bunch of quests to do. Every time you catch a fish, it tells you like how far into your quests you are. And I think that it's a really, really awesome idea, and I think our community does too. Almost to the point where I had to disable it because they were playing it so much I couldn't read chat. I had a couple people who were trying to actually send me a message, and they were like, "There's too many fish messages. You keep missing my message." And I'm like, "I'm sorry." So I had to turn it off. And I've got a dialogue open with Papa Smack and his the other guy that helped him develop it, and I've been sending them ideas that I have for maybe how we could make some tweaks to the chat, the amount of chat messages and things like that. So they're doing some work on that, which is really nice. It's always nice when a developer is like indie developers and stuff like that. You can chat with them and you can tell them things that you've experienced in the game. You don't get as much of that in a big, Destiny.
Right.
There's a bug in Destiny and it's like, okay, it goes into a queue with 700 other bugs. And they may never fix yours because other ones are more important. But I reached out to Papa Smack and he was like, yeah, let me add a toggle for that. Let me add a toggle for that. And he's like, okay, I'll push the update. It should be live now. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, okay. That's really nice.
Yeah,
But
I haven't had a chance to do that, but as I have a fish channel, over
mhm,
here, I was definitely planning on adding that to the fish channel so that
yeah,
while people are just there chilling, there's other stuff going on. Because I shouldn't say never, but I haven't been live on that channel in 6 months. Had done some, um, what do you call it, co-working on that channel before, and so it's mostly chill, and then you'd have interaction, but otherwise it's just live and there's no one there. So if
yeah,
I can add more things, so I just haven't had a chance to do that,
yeah.
to add it, to be over there. So I won't necessarily have that same problem of it being too much chat going on,
No, yeah,
because I'm never
exactly.
going to be responding to chat over there unless it's just responding in the chat.
Yeah.
So it'll
It's
be easy to
perfect for a
keep up
channel
with.
like
Yeah,
that.
it'd be perfect for a channel like that. I just have not got it added yet.
And they do have their own. So if you were to go to the link that I dropped in Discord, the fishshack.live, that's where like the dashboard and stuff is, but it also shows who's streaming it. So that was another really nice thing is there's a couple of other games like that, like words on stream or whatever and stuff like that, where when you go to the homepage, it tells you here's a list of people that are streaming it, and it gives another avenue for people to discover your stream. The Fish Shack also has that, which is really nice, but they have their own channel and it's just Fish Shack 24/7. So you can go there and fish, and it's cross channel, not cross platform, really cross channel. It saves your progress. So you could be fishing in my stream, and then I end my stream, and you go to another stream, or you go back to the Fish Shack stream, and you can keep playing it with all the same items you had, all the same fish in your inventory, and the same cache and everything. So it's a really really cool idea. I think that they've done a really good job with it, especially since it was just Papa Smack who's developed it. I think on his own. The other guy that was helping him did some more help with like other back end stuff and marketing, I think, and things like that and graphics. But as far as I know, Papa Smack was developing it on his own. So yeah, kudos to him. And check out the fishshack.live if you want to check out their stream and the game and give them some support. It's
Yeah,
been
definitely. I'll
it's a
definitely
great idea.
be working on that in the next couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I think we did it. I think we
Hey, we
touched
made
on
it
everything.
through.
Yep,
You do the thing.
we did the thing. Yep. Are you winning, son? Yep, we're winning the podcast.
Yay.
I was wondering if my house was going to burn down in the background here. There was some shouting and stuff going on.
Oh,
I was
wow.
like, uh-oh. I think we had a kid go missing. I was like, my wife's like, you know where our son is? I was like, no. She's like, well, it's going to get dark soon. I don't know where he is. I was like, uh-oh.
I I I
It's
grew up in
okay.
the 80s. Nobody knew where we were until dark.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like,
exactly. I think he was home before dark, but there was
yeah.
some concerns. But no, we got it. We did it. Quiz King said, as someone who mostly plays single player games, I played D2 here and there, but stopped when I couldn't make progress without someone helping. I feel like that was kind of though the genius of Destiny 2. There was enough people. There was always people to matchmake with and play with, and playing with somebody to accomplish something to me always felt a lot of fun. I did also love playing it solo, and I would try and do as much as I possibly could solo because it's just nice to stop and explore. You sometimes you jump into a mission, and I know I'm running this podcast long now, but you jump into a mission and there's an objective, and a boss, and people would just rush through to the boss and kill it. It would be like you'd be in there for 5 minutes and it's done. And I'm like, guys, I want to stop and like pause in this one little area and like look for secrets and like pick up items and fight with every little enemy along the way and see what they drop. And meanwhile, people are like, it's done before I can even do anything. But yeah, it's hit and miss with that too. But anyway, that's episode 15 in the can. Does anybody have anything they want to add? Yeah, I did say that right almost the first time. Or anything that you want to shout out, anything that you're working on over the next little while, where people can find you, all that stuff.
Working on a digital missionary gaming workshop for June 25th. So I'll firm up. I'm trying to firm up stuff. I've got two different speakers plus myself. We'll be doing the workshop. It's either going to be at noon or 1 p.m. Eastern for a 4-hour period of time on Discord. So if you want to join the Discord, the church.digital/fam, we'll have the link for Discord there. I think you can go to the church.digital Discord or Discord. What anyway. You can find me either way there. Find us.
Cool.
And so it'll be free, not costing anything. One of the topics is going to be gaming as a parable. So I know a lot of people are trying to do this, and I've seen people doing this content. How do you take a game, a story, something that's nerdy, you love what it is, but you tell it as a parable so that there's a lesson that you're telling people about it? And so that'll be one of the themes that we're talking about. Another theme we'll be talking about digital ethics. There'll be a little bit of section about AI, but mostly just like thinking through, like, is it ethical? What are you doing? How are you doing things? Because you're always running into the temptation to shortcut things, to cheat, to do other stuff. Where do you have ethics when you're in the digital space? And then the one I'll be talking about is theology of fun. And so Caitlin Glass has talked about this at NCMS. I might not be going in the same direction that she does fully, but I'm going to take some biblical passages talking about the fact that God created stuff for our enjoyment. And so one of the things that we should be doing is enjoying stuff around us, and games are one of those things that we can absolutely enjoy. But like anything that you can enjoy, you can go overboard with it and go to excess. So we'll be talking about that idea, because a lot of people, as you were talking about, talking to your church and saying, well, I really wanted to defend games as something we should do. So it's really going to be talking about that. How do you talk about gaming is a legitimate thing of enjoyment, the same way that going and watching a Marvel movie is legitimate enjoyment that people can have. So if you're interested in checking that out, like I said, the church.digital/fam, it'll be on June 20. It's a Thursday. I want to say June 25th. June 25th. So that's the thing I'm working on.
Okay. If you shoot me that in Discord, I'll paste it in there. It got pasted as stars because I have links blocked.
Yep.
No, yeah, but definitely check out that book. I listened to it the first time for free. I also bought like 16 copies of it because I wanted to give it out at my conference, the Know Thy Gamer by Drew Dixon. I listened to the audiobook for free on my library's like Hoopla plan or whatever. Like if your library has an audiobook thing, it's probably on there, and it's fantastic, and it talks about a lot of that. Play is created by God. It's a good design, and I know you already know that, so maybe it'll just be a reiteration of what you already know. But
yeah, I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel, but not everybody's heard that.
Exactly.
And so I thought it was a good topic. And in fact, I put 12 different topics out to the church digital community and asked them, and these were the 3 topics that were the number one getter of, this is what we want to hear about. This is what we're interested in. So
yeah, I love hearing talks about that topic. And so even though I've heard a couple already, like Jacqueline and you said Caitlin, I would still love to hear anybody else's perspective on it. And there's always going to be something new that each person brings to the table because they've all experienced it differently through their lives, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. How about you, Tactical? I almost called you Nightsaber.
I'll be hard diving into Destiny 2 this week, in the coming weeks. I'll be doing a lot of helps for endgame content and final stuff.
Cool.
Just because I want to give the game a last 2 run, I want to send it out. So, if you see me live, all you got to do is type in !bungo in my chat. It will give you my Destiny 2 name. You can add me.
Nice. Yeah. Very, very cool. Yeah, check out Tactical playing some Destiny. I'm sure Aki and Fam will also be !bungo. Not in this chat. That'd be funny.
I just wasn't sure I had the spelling right. So
right. Yes, !bungo. BUNGO.
Okay. BUNGO. BUNGO. Excellent.
Yes, exactly.
Bungo is the name.
I'm going to be singing that now for the next 2 days.
Yeah.
That's going to be my vocal sim at work all day tomorrow.
Yep. I am good at giving people an earworm that they do not want.
Yeah.
Just a talent of mine.
Feel free to
Hey, you know
clip
what?
that right now on stream and then just download the VOD and make it a sound alert on your stream. When people type !bungo, it plays us singing it.
It just
That'd be great.
all together now.
Yeah.
BUNGO.
And here's my Bungie ID. Blanco. That's awesome.
All right, folks. I need to go use the bathroom again. I'm going to bow out early.
We're going
But
down.
it was a pleasure to be here as always, gentlemen.
Yeah,
Yep,
loved having you. Thanks a
absolutely.
lot. And thank you, FlatCap. And
Yeah.
we'll go out with our outro, which is the same as our intro, and we'll call it a night.
All right.
So thanks for being
Sounds
here.
good. Thank
Bye-bye.
you, everybody, for being here. Appreciate it.
See ya. See ya. You too.